In the brackish marshes of Saltfen, a unique people have built their lives in harmony with the native bugs. Known as the Saltfen Brood, their culture, biology, and rituals reflect the traits of these creatures. Their society revolves around the use of valanots, ancient symbols that, when carved into flesh, can reshape the body and mind. The Brood are some of the world's most skilled practitioners of this art. Through precise arrangements called valachains, they guide insect evolution, growing them large and more formidable. These altered creatures form the core of Saltfen life, being the source of their tools, weapons, food, and protection. Armor is formed from chitin plates that are harvested from huge mutated insects, crustaceans, and mollusks. Weapons are sculpted from warped pincers, stingers, mandibles, and proboscises. Long before discovering valanots, the Saltfen Brood lived in a tightly woven caste society. Each member is born into a distinct caste, symbolic of a specific insect, mollusk, or crustacean. This isn't a hierarchy, but a balanced system, where each role supports the others. Interbreeding between castes is forbidden, preserving the purity and function of each bloodline. The discovery of valanots only deepened their bond to the bugs. They learned how to grow and twist them, allowing the Brood to don armor and make weapons from them. Governance in the Saltfen Brood is communal. Each caste elects a single representative to join the Brood Council. These counselors guide policy through mutual agreement, ensuring that no caste rises above another. Unity and survival, not power, are the highest values in Saltfen. The Brood traces their roots to ancient exiles, once part of pre-human tribes who fled into the marshes to escape war and persecution. There, they slowly adapted to their new world. Over generations, their bloodlines diverged, each evolving traits to mirror the creatures they live beside. Though they do not appear insectoid when out of their armor, members of each caste bear physical and behavioral similarities to their associated species. Saltfen society is divided into combat and utility castes. Each plays a vital role in the Brood's survival. The following are the main combat castes. The Beetle caste, heavily armored warriors who form the Brood's front lines. Their chitin is dense, their weapons heavy, and their presence immense. There are dozens of subtypes that focus on specific beetles, like bombardiers and stag beetles. Mosquito and hornet castes, aerial fighters who mount large mutated mosquitoes and hornets. The mosquito-aligned Brood specialize in draining the life force of larger opponents, while the hornet-aligned create and use venomous attacks to disable foes. These two castes are sister lines and often fight together. The Water Strider caste, ambushers who glide across the water on enormous water striders, stealthy and dangerous. They strike where enemies least expect. The crab and crayfish castes are semi-aquatic specialists. The crab caste serve as tanks and shield bearers, while the crayfish caste are nimble and often accompany water striders in marshland assaults. These castes are also sister lines. Up next are the utility castes. The ant caste, masters of construction and labor. They build vast underground tunnel systems, grow and train giant ants to work for them, and build towering anthills that act as watchtowers and house footmen. The clam caste specializes in crafting heavy armor and defensive gear from enormous warped clams. These clams also act as biofilters, purifying their swamp water. The firefly caste are specialized in communication and reconnaissance. They have a secret code made up of flashes of light that allow for communication over long distances. They wield torches made of warped firefly abdomens that can manually flash green light to communicate in this way. The snail caste cultivates massive snails whose slime is alchemically refined into glue, acid, and traps. Their byproducts are essential for both war and daily life. And the bee caste, keepers of mutated hives and producers of powerful honeys. Their work supports warriors, healers, and spiritual leaders alike. The bee caste raises huge, mutated bees in specifically maintained hives. These bees are bred to produce 3 distinct honeys, each serving a unique and powerful purpose. Frenzy honey. a reddish-orange honey that floods the body with fury. When consumed, it sends the user into a berserker-like state, enhancing strength, endurance, and pain resistance for hours. Vital honey, a golden honey infused with regenerative enzymes and numbing compounds. It slows bleeding, reduces pain, and can purge poisons when applied or ingested. Sage honey, pale yellow and rich with natural tryptamines. Sage honey induces intense spiritual visions. It is used in religious ceremonies, particularly for communion with insects or the ancestral memory of the brood. Young broodlings consume it during their coming-of-age ritual, the brood binding. Using valachains, the bee caste mutates giant bees, which then create massive hive structures. Once the hive reaches maturity, it is relocated to a prepared site, then carefully hollowed out and converted into housing. These hollow hives are naturally resistant to moisture and heat, and rising above the swamp, these structures are complemented by towering anthill outposts built by the ant caste. And beneath the swamp, the brood maintain a complex network of tunnels, patrolled by ant and beetle caste members. These passages serve as shelters for the vulnerable and as ambush points during conflict. The Saltfen Brood live in isolation, but are not hostile by nature. They have no love for the Flesh Forge, whose abominations threaten their delicate balance, and they fight fiercely against any intrusion. With the Skirmar Empire, however, they remain neutral. On occasion, they trade with outsiders, bartering their alchemical products and creature-crafted goods for food and rare bugs from other regions. The brood shuns metals and gemstones. Their trades are practical. Respect is only given to those who offer something of value to them. The brood speaks in a hidden language of chittering and clicks, woven into the background buzz of the swamp. It's a form of coded speech nearly impossible to detect by outsiders, and allows for stealthy communication even in enemy territory. One of the most sacred rituals is the brood binding, a rite of passage that marks adulthood. At 18, a broodling consumes sage honey under the supervision of shamans, and is sealed inside a hive chamber filled with insects linked to their caste. In the long night trance that follows, they must commune with the swarm. If they emerge unharmed and mentally whole, they are recognized as a true member of their caste. The Saltfen Brood are a people of deep tradition, biological mastery, and spiritual depth. Their entire society is a fusion of flesh, chitin, and purpose. Each member born to serve a role greater than themselves. They are neither savage nor noble, but something stranger and older. And while the outside world changes in chaos and fire, the brood endure, resilient, unified, and internally bound to the bugs that influence them. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more lore from the world of salt and flesh.